All right, here we go. Episode 10, G's podcast presented by Parx Sportsbook. Harry Mays, Jason Myrtetus. What's going on, Harry?
Hey, it's Super Bowl week, man. You know, Radio Row is popping. Guys are running around out there with their masks on. I just was watching a little Jim Rome, and I could see our buddy Zach Gelb in the background walking around. Everybody's, getting busy, man.
All geeked up for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm actually really intrigued by this Super Bowl.
I am too.
Fresh.
I am too, but I haven't really gotten into it yet. Like, it's going to take until late in the week, and I'll get there by Sunday. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know. There just seem to be. It's almost like I'm on a hangover from the previous 2 weekends of professional football playoffs, which were just so great, and there was such a high level of quarterback play and just unbelievable finishes, and like where I'm just like. It was like kind of like an exhale week for me. And I don't get into the Pro Bowl. I watched a little of the Senior Bowl because I'm interested in these prospects. But, I got to ramp back up now as we approach Super Bowl weekend because I, too, am looking forward to it.
Yeah, after those 2 weeks of football, championship weekend and everything,
unbelievable.
You need to head to the Schwitz.
You really do. Yeah, exactly. I need a massage. Yeah, my goodness,
a good steam hair.
Right. I love a good steam. I kind of miss the fact I used to go to a gym a long, long time ago when I'd go to gyms, and they had a great steam room. Like that, just like that hot stone kind of room where it was all wood in there, and you just
that's a sauna.
Oh, that's a sauna. Yeah, that's
dry
sauna.
That's
not the sauna, but I like the dry sauna.
Yeah, I don't like the dry sauna.
No, why not?
I just moved to Arizona.
Well, yeah, I like that out there. It's a dry heat.
Yeah, dry heat. 110. It's a dry heat, though.
Hey,
I played 110 degrees.
I played golf. It was 117 degrees in Palm Springs. It was awesome.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Club would be flying out of my hand because my palms would be sweating. No, I like the steam, though.
Oh, okay.
The actual steam room.
Yeah, that's where you can't even see in there, right?
Yeah.
You
don't need to see.
I like to be able to see. I don't like to be in a room naked with other men and not being able to see around me, my surroundings.
Yeah, I'd rather not see than see the droopy balls of some 72-year-old dude.
Well, that's a fair point. That's
like dragging on the floor.
That's a fair point, Mike.
And Mexican pie.
Oh man,
but when you take a steam too, they tend to sag even lower.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. They're trying to get away from your body because you're so hot.
Yeah, you can pull them out like bat wings.
Yeah. It's hot.
It's hot. Let's tell people real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes here about Parx Sportsbook because they got this is like the best week to join, right?
Yes, it is.
It's the most gambled on weekend in sports.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, especially with so many different options that you have at the Parx Casino Sportsbook app. Like player performances is a big thing. These player props for this game, are just, it never ends. And there's a couple that I've been looking at, and I might be overthinking this. I was talking about it with Barrett Brooks today on my other show, but Van Jefferson is like the forgotten receiver on
Not Van Morrison.
Not Van Morrison. No, I think he's been canceled. But Van Jefferson, kid out of Florida, he would be great on the Eagles, okay? But he's like number 3.5 on the Rams because they've got so much damn talent with Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. to name two. But I'm thinking that this Bengal team is going to try to devise a scheme to somewhat take Cooper Kupp and minimize him early in the game, especially. And it's going to take a little while for the Rams to adjust to that. And in the meantime, I'm thinking Van Jefferson might be a good play at over 49.5 yards. You're going to get plus 195 on the Parx Casino app right now. I mean, it's almost 2-1. You only if he gets 33 yards, you risk 113 to win 100. But I'm going to try to go up there, and I'm going to get a little greedy with plus money, almost 2-1 money at 49.5 yards over for Van Jefferson. And then there was a rushing total that I like. Obviously, Cam Akers is back. He was still a little bit limited, just sort of working his way through over these last couple of weeks. But Sony Michel is a guy that is very capable. He could be a lead running back for most teams. over 17.5 yards.
Wow, that's
rushing for Sony Michel is minus 113 to win 100. Those are two that jumped out at me.
All right, so there's two, and
Yeah.
it is the sports pinnacle of gambling this weekend. This and the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. Super Bowl Sunday, it's going to be crazy. I think the game is going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
Stafford, Burrow. I mean, there's so many storylines here. And new customers right now, you don't need any kind of promo code or no goofy thing to type in. Just open up an account, deposit, and your first bet risk-free up to $500. You can use them on those bets Harry just talked about. And you can give them a follow on social media at Parx Sportsbook on Twitter. Make sure you also follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as well. And you get great content. You're going to get Rich Gannon stuff on Super Bowl week and all that. It's fantastic. And then daily specials and much more, player performances, in same game parlays. The in-game betting will be fun for this too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's interesting to see, where the lines move depending on who scores first. And, if the Bengals or the Rams get out to like a 10-0 lead, like what can I get the Bengals at? They were +4 to start the game. Now where are they? There's different little angles that you can play on that in-game stuff. It's fantastic.
Well, what would you got the Bengals at a 21-3 against Kansas City at Arrowhead? Right?
Can you imagine what you could get?
Imagine Harrowhead was probably at least plus 2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's insane. They were down 21-3. Nobody thought they had a chance to come back in that game.
No.
And they come all the way back. They win it in overtime. It's an incredible story. Real quick, before we get to some more stuff with the Sixers and Harden, I want to talk about. I actually want to talk about some sports today.
No.
Oddly enough. But 4 years ago today, you remember where you were 4 years ago today, Har?
Yeah, I do. And I was with you.
Yeah.
And we were down off Broad Street. I forget. It was the Kimmel Center, I believe.
Correct.
Weren't we somewhere in there in that front south corner? It was the south corner. It would be southeast corner, I guess, of the building. And we had a nice vantage point of Broad Street and the sidewalk, and it was all windowed, glassed up. And you and I were in there doing our radio show from 10 to 2 on parade day. And I tell you, doing it, what we've done over, for the last couple decades in radio, you get the opportunity to experience some really unique things that, I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. And just to do that parade day with that parade, because I did the Phillies parade years ago back in 2008 with Jody Mack, and that was great too, but it didn't approach this. Like, this was like one of the most unique shows I think I've ever done in my history in radio, because we walked around, you and I, before the show started and even after we were done, and you're just looking at the people, and we could see them walking by as we're doing the show, and we're, waving to people and all this kind of thing. You went out in the street, I remember, with a microphone, with like a wireless mic, and we're talking to people. And it was just maybe the first time that I experienced true joy, like being surrounded with an energy of true joy.
Yeah. In a world that's incredibly jaded, negative, Philadelphia sports world, especially, right?
Correct.
There's an insecurity that's to it.
Oh, yeah.
If something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen here, whether that's on the field, off the field, whatever it is. And you're right. That day, there was this energy of positivity, elation, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That was shared by every single person there.
Right.
And you could feel it. You could feel it from the moment you got out of the car and were just down amongst it. There was such a vibe. It was so cool. And there's moments in my broadcasting career, and that's right up there with some of the best. Interviewing Robert Plant's obviously there for me.
Yeah.
But the Eagles Super Bowl parade, the show we did that day, and I got down there with that wireless. I was up against the gate.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to yell for players to come over. Nobody came over.
But you were like in the human crush out there,
My feet weren't even on the ground.
No.
I was just floating.
It's like it was like you were jacked up against the boards and your skates were just dangling there,
It kind of reminded me how I felt when they put the signs out for the Monsters of Rock that Metallica was coming on, and the crush of fans came up to the front after Kingdom Come at JFK.
That could get scary.
Yes.
A little bit different crowd.
Not much different though.
No.
So, a lot of the same haircuts too.
Okay. All right.
Back in the 80s. But yeah, it was awesome. I tried to find some audio because we played that audio from Bernie from Broomall, I think, in our last show. And I tried to find audio of our show that we did that day so we could present a little highlight package for the program here today. But I can't find it anywhere now. Now, I had it before, and I may have it on a hard drive or something I got to dig up. But I tried looking on the internet again, and I think it's been rinsed.
No.
Off the internet. Yes.
And rinse an Eagles parade audio from the internet. I mean, come on.
Just because we don't do the show there anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, you were finding other stuff. I don't know. You think they went back in and rinsed that because it's you and me? I don't think so.
I can't find it, Har.
Wow.
I spent a good 40 minutes trying to find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to look.
Yeah, but maybe where I have to look, probably on Facebook. I bet you I can find it on there from when they posted it.
Well, because
they posted a highlight pack.
I cannot because I'm not on Facebook.
Well, you're better for it, Har.
Yeah, I jumped off of there back in 2012. I was way ahead of the curve.
Whoa.
Yep, way ahead.
Most people didn't jump on.
I know. I was already off.
You were already done with it.
Yes.
Oh my God, you were way ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
Also, in regards to kind of 4 years ago news, Doug Peterson, now the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. How about that?
Yeah, and he had his first interview, must have been like 5 weeks ago, because they had gotten rid of Urban Meyer early and got a sort of a head start on interviewing some candidates. And, we kind of figured that Doug would easily get a job, being a Super Bowl winning coach, having taken a year off. And, sometimes that, that's good for a guy to sort of get away from it for a little bit and, sort of, be able to look at things from a different viewpoint, be able to sit back and assemble, maybe a staff in his mind. Like, once I do get back, I want to hire this guy. I'm going to go in touch with him, just touch base with him. You can sort of put together almost your staff in your mind's eye until you get that job. And then all of a sudden, everything went cold for Doug for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we were thinking he was going to get left outside, looking in. And the next thing you know, Jacksonville interviews him again, and boom, he's hired. We were thinking they were going to hire Byron Leftwich. In fact, there were some tweets that were put out by some very reputable people in the industry that were basically saying it's all but a done deal. They're working out the deal. And, we're thinking, oh, great, good for Byron Leftwich. He deserves a shot. And that seems like he played there back in, years ago. And then all of a sudden that went cold. And then here comes Doug again, and bam, they hire him. And, I listened to Doug a little bit in this press conference. Much different Doug Peterson than was the Doug that met the media in Philadelphia after he got that job, isn't it?
Big time. Yeah. I noticed the same thing.
Yep.
I was like, oh, wow, he is way more polished.
Yep.
And B, not overwhelmed by the media.
He was in command that day.
Yes.
What I mean? It was pretty cool to see. I got to be honest. I'm rooting for him.
I am too. And Doug's greatest asset as a coach is that his players love him, and he's a good leader of men.
Yeah.
And it's like he learned a lot here. While he was a good coach and obviously won a Super Bowl here, he's going to be a better coach there. Now, it depends if he gets talent, because it is Jacksonville.
Right.
Because
he's got the quarterback. He's got the quarterback. And, despite what we saw out of him this past year, I mean, that was a train wreck year for him. They did have a big win against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in the Super Bowl. Yeah. They beat the Bengals, didn't they? I know the Jets did. But they beat Buffalo. It was Buffalo was their big win. And then, of course, they beat the Colts at the end of the year to keep Carson Wentz and Frank Reich from the playoffs. So it was Buffalo and the Colts.
Oh, the irony
three
there.
Wins. Those are two pretty good ones right there. So that kid's a super talent, and I can't wait to see, the staff that Doug puts together, because remember, that was sort of the bone of contention at the end with Jeffrey Lurie, is that he didn't like really this, after the whole thing blew up after the Super Bowl and guys started getting hired away, it seemed like Doug wasn't really able to sort of, fill it up anymore, fill up the cupboard like his old boss, Andy Reid, always seemed to do. Yeah. Andy Reid's guys were getting plucked year after year after year, and he maintained that for a long period of time here in Philadelphia, and he's doing the same in Kansas City. But I'm rooting for Doug. I think it's going to be an interesting watch. They come to the Link next year, do the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. Tribute video, like that'll be a hockey game,
right?
The tribute video.
Oh, the tribute video.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But they come here to the link, and then they also will face off against Wentz, we assume, if he's still a Colt, but Frank Reich, and he will be going at it twice a year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Great storylines ahead for that. And then the other when Doug comes to town, will he go up and see the statue of him and Nick Foles calling the Philly special?
Oh, yeah, maybe
stop by.
Gets a selfie there with Lawrence to say, hey, we got one of these coming in Jacksonville in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Let's run Duval instead of Philly. Yeah.
The what's it called? He got the selfie with me after winning this, couple days after winning the Super Bowl down at the barn when he came in and dropped the puck.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I got that picture with him, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, coach, can I get a picture with you?" He said, "Sure." He said, "I'm Doug Peterson." I said, "I know."
Hey, are you serious? I don't know if you ever told me that. He thought he had to introduce himself.
He said, "Hey, hello, I'm Doug Peterson." Yeah, and I didn't introduce myself because I did not want to put my name out there.
Oh yeah, well, of course not, because
of my
you
history.
had that Stunod meter thing that you rolled out for,
which, by the way, is on eBay right now for sale.
It is,
yeah, for any Jacksonville Jaguar fans who would like it. Batteries not included. It takes 4D batteries too, Harry.
4Ds, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not double Ds.
No, I wish. But yeah, so Doug's down there now.
Yeah.
Super Bowl week, props. Let's get one more thing on sports. Two more things, actually. Number one, you buying any of this bullshit with Harden and the Sixers? Does it make any sense for the Nets to trade him to the Sixers when they're trying to win?
Not right now. It doesn't. That's for sure. I mean, they're going to get Durant back. I know they've lost, I think, 8 in a row. Are going through a spot right now, but they're going to eventually, who knows what this mask mandates might come down, or the COVID mandates might be relaxed before too long in New York, and you get Kyrie to be able to play at home. So Brooklyn is far from dead, and I don't think Harden is going to be moved before the deadline. I think it's going to happen, though. I really do, because Morey is going to make sure it happens. This seems to be his great white whale. And it's going to happen before the end of the draft in June.
So he'll be a Sixer, just not this season.
Not for this season, but for next season, I think he will be a Sixer. Yeah,
I think it's going to forward for a couple of years at least. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, look, they've been unbelievably good considering what they're missing. I mean,
no doubt.
How about it?
What are they, a game and a half, 2 games out right now? I think they're in 5th place. They just beat the Bulls over the weekend on the road, which is a great win. I mean, the big guy's been out of his mind. I mean, he is just playing at an all-time MVP level.
I think that with him, like, so much has been made because, Shaq ripped Ben Simmons, then Ben Simmons was DMing him.
That was awesome.
And, the whole
I love Shaq.
I do too.
God, I love Shaq.
He's like the way he talks.
You know what?
Mike paved the way for me to get paid. I paved the way for
It's like, what?
Spunk up a little bit.
He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't need to, because he's Shaq.
Yep.
People rip him for doing commercials with the General. He doesn't care.
He doesn't give a shit.
No.
You're right. If you want to find good broadcasters, find guys that don't give a shit.
Right. Barkley.
Because they'll say something because they don't care if they get fired.
Exactly.
See, that's the problem with our media, Har.
Yeah.
Everybody's afraid to say something because they're going to get fired.
I know.
But Shaq and Barkley got so much dough and so much I don't give a crap that it doesn't matter. So they'll go out there and actually say something. And they'll fight against cancel culture, which is even better.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're both of them, I think, are too big to cancel. I really think. But you can't cancel anybody, I don't think, that doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's part of it.
Yeah. I agree. Shaq is great. But like all this conversation, then Embiid last week puts out that tweet, Har, where he tweets out the mega pack of Charmin Ultra Soft with no comment.
Yeah. What do you think that was? A little cryptic tweet.
Holy passive aggressive.
Designed for Ben Simmons. But he was on with our old colleague Mike Missinelli this week and made some news. It was a really good interview. And I got some great quotes out of it from Embiid. And it's not just that it's Embiid. It's like, when have you ever heard a top flight athlete, much less, an MVP caliber athlete in their sport, say things like, I have no pride. My goal is to just win a championship. That was in reference to bringing other players to the team that he might not, get along with, like or whatever. He's like, I have no pride. If the
Or
management
defer
thinks
to at certain points in a game.
right, if the management thinks they're going to make us a better team and help us win, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Like,
In other words, it's not all about me.
exactly. That's very rare. The other thing I saw was he's talking about, when your names come up or name comes up in trade rumors, like, Ben Simmons got all butthurt about it, right?
Yeah.
He said, this is a business. You never know what can happen. You can't get your feelings hurt just because your name is in trade rumors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Again, he's a guy like Shaq that doesn't seem to give a shit and will
No.
just say it.
No, and he's matured so much in the last couple of years. We've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
this right before our eyes, physically and emotionally and mentally and everything. And he went on to say in another situation where he's talking about, getting on guys after last year that, might have, screwed up in the playoffs or whatever, including himself, because he's challenging them. And he says, so I think at the end of the day, you've got to have some self-awareness and kind of look at yourself and see how you can help the team. When have you ever heard the term self-awareness and a professional athlete be uttered in the same sentence by themselves?
Publicly.
Yes.
Right. You're so right, Harry, because, the thing about him, like you just said, like he's matured so much physically, mentally, and all that. I think the area
too. Yeah.
And competitively.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that matters too, is that it's not about me being great as an individual. I want to win, and I don't care about anything else. I just want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that maturity allows you and allows the team. And I'm sure Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers are like over the moon about it.
Yeah.
Is, hey, we can bring in anybody as long as they're going to help us win. This guy's on board.
Oh, he's good because he knows he's the guy. It's his team.
Yes.
Primarily. But, think about Jimmy Butler and him. If we could have just kept that going.
Yeah. Two guys like that, right?
Yeah. Two guys that hold themselves and everybody else accountable.
Yeah. God forbid. That's a huge thing. And we'll see what they do. I mean, I see these rumors. One guy saying I heard from a source that there's no way they're dealing them this year. Another guy said I heard from a source that they'll deal them and a deal will be done in a couple hours.
I know.
It's all just a bunch of bullshit.
I know. And then I saw on Crossing Broad just today that there's people that are in and around Simmons that say if the deal isn't done, that they're recommending he go back to the Sixers and all this stuff. Who knows? It's just drama, man.
That's not going to happen, though. Right?
I kind of doubt it, but it would be interesting.
I think it would be fascinating.
Like Embiid says, they're a better team with him on the court than with him sitting at home. So
yeah, when Embiid tweeted out a picture of the mega pack of super soft Charmin hair, I think that
you think that did it?
Gone. Yeah, that bridge is burned. I don't even know if that did it. I think he's just such a pussy that he just can't handle it. So, how about at Ruin Tomorrow checking in?
Oh boy,
he says violation, Bo, with the Eagles hoodie. Should be a G jersey. I don't have a G jersey.
I like that hoodie. That's that military thing you had.
Salute to service, huh?
Yeah, salute to service. That's a good looking item.
Yeah,
but he brings up G.
This is the first one of the.
What about you? What about you getting the All-Star sweater that G wore when he won the MVP?
No, I don't have any Giroux jerseys. I don't have anything Giroux.
That looked like a cool jersey. That was like a blue, couple tones of blue.
Yeah. It was a cool jersey. And he had a great weekend. I mean, he was fantastic in the game. And I mean, how about, let me ask you about this. And this is going to lead to another discussion about ESPN, the worldwide leader. Emily Kaplan from ESPN, who covers the NHL there, is like an insider and does a bunch of different stuff, both on and off camera. She asked Giroux after he just won the MVP. She asked him, do you have any message for Alexander Ovechkin, who couldn't be there because he tested in COVID protocol, which I think is bullshit. He just didn't want to go. He found a test and rigged it because he's always trying to get out of the All-Star game. Oh, yeah. And do you have a message for Alexander Ovechkin? And Giroux's like, I just won the MVP. Yeah. I replaced him as the captain. Like, why are you asking me about him? So he said, not really. That was his answer. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Right. Yeah.
Do I have a message for him? And then he goes, I don't know, get better.
I mean, yeah. What could she have been looking for there? What do you think the intent of that question was?
Where's the upside in even asking it? Right.
I mean, where's the upside?
Hey, why? I got a call from the organization because of that question.
You're
You
right.
know? Why would Mike do that? I mean, why would he tell Zach Ronaldo he can't play?
Oh man!
You
Now
know?
I got to admit I didn't watch one lick of the NHL All-Star festivities.
No?
Nor did I watch the Pro Bowl. Nor will I watch the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I don't like the All-Star games either. I don't even
No.
like 3-on-3 in hockey when it means something, Harry.
Right, I know. And it's a bastardization of the game that
It
you
is.
love. Yes.
Yeah. There was some cool stuff in the skills competition with like guys like Trevor Zegras and doing the blindfold thing and like
Yeah, what was that all about?
He is unbelievable with his stick skills with a puck and like rolling the puck onto his blade like a lacrosse stick. It's unreal what he can do. One-handed, it's just sick.
Wow.
He's so good. But for Ruin Tomorrow, I don't have a G jersey. The only thing I have Giroux related at this house is I have a couple mini helmets behind me.
Yeah.
Not one of the masks. And it's signed by about like 7 Flyer captains on one helmet.
Wow.
So like Clarkie's on there, Rico, Derek Desjardins, who else? Keith Primo, Giroux,
Dreams.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that former captains, Pooley, Dave Pooley. They're all signed on one helmet. So that's a nice item.
That's a nice El Capitan, token there.
Yeah, exactly right.
What do you think you could get on eBay for that?
Oh man, probably a lot because of the history. There's still a couple more I'll probably get that were captains. Like I'm not gonna get Mel Bridgman, who was the captain for a couple of years when Clark was still on the team, and he had to give up the captaincy because he was a player coach, and you couldn't be a captain if you were the player coach.
Oh wow.
Pronger's on. I got to get Pronger on there, and I don't have Richards because he never comes back to town.
Oh okay.
But I got to get Richie on there if he comes back.
He doesn't ever come back.
Nah, he just sits up in Kelowna and fishes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Kelowna? Where's that?
Up in Canada.
Ontario or?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He just fishes all the time and hunts and stuff like that. He's a lunatic. So, real quick too, Harry. I have a review for the show today.
Oh, no. Did we find a negative one?
No, not for our show.
Oh,
I want to review a product.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been trying to solve the problem in my truck in the Dodge Ram. I have this like little bin that's up above on the dash, and I've been trying to find a place to put my phone. Like I have one of those vent things to put my phone in, but they're never good. They always fall. It just looks clunky. Then it blocks the vent from heating or cooling the car.
Right.
But I got this phone because it's got a kickstand on the back. All right. So here's the phone case.
Okay.
And it's got a little cover here for the camera to protect the camera.
It's got a third leg, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kicks out. It's a ring.
Okay.
And you can turn it, put it like that, and
Right.
boom, it sits in there perfect. Now, this case, Harry.
In the vent?
No. On the little ledge.
Oh, on the ledge.
It sits up there perfectly, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I could watch YouTube videos while I'm driving.
Right.
So
I wouldn't advise that, though.
No. So this phone case, $13.
Okay.
On Amazon.
All right.
And you would think it'd be cheap plastic and crap. No. I'll put a link in the show notes.
Is it made in China?
I don't know where it's made, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's military grade, so it's American.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's made in China. Why are you saying it's a Chinese phone case?
Well, I'm just saying because
China.
Yeah, right.
But so I highly recommend it.
Okay. What's it called? Like, is there a name for it? Or like a product, like a brand name, or
it says Discover Innovation. There probably is.
Okay.
I'd have to look into my Amazon account.
Because I have the WeatherTech deal.
Oh, yeah, they're good. That's high quality there, too.
The thing that you sit that, and I think that's American made. You sit that right in your cup holder, and it can be adjusted. Like there's,
swivel arm.
It's got about 6 or 7 different cups in it. So depending on how wide your cup holder is, you take cups off, add cups on, whatever it is, it fits in there nice and snug, right?
Yeah.
And then you can sort of, tilt up the arm and tighten it, and you just drop the phone right in there, and it plugs in from the bottom, and you're good to go.
And it's not all messy and disheveled looking.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's
a good item.
The company is called Cloud Valley.
Okay.
that made this. I don't know if the Cloud Valley is in Shanghai or if it's
Yeah.
in California, but it's a great product. So there's a little product review
All
for
right.
you.
Good.
Uh,
We like that.
Real quick, I want to get your thoughts on something because Sunday, the 13th, this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
I am taking my daughter to a concert. Now, my daughter's 13.
All right.
My daughter, Kira Lee. And we're going to see, we were supposed to see this concert in May of 2020. We had tickets, the whole thing, but it was obviously postponed or canceled or whatever because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to see Billie Eilish on Sunday.
Where? At the Wells Fargo?
It's exactly right.
Okay. Now you're going to miss the Super Bowl for Billie Eilish?
Holy shit, you're right.
What? What? Dude.
Oh, the old lady.
I hate to do it to Billie Eilish.
Yeah, the old lady's taking her. I'm texting her right now. Let me do a voice to text to the wife.
Get her on the horn. I want to hear her reaction. Actually,
all right, we'll see if she'll come on you're on the show. I'll put her on
Billie
the
Eilish. I like a couple of songs by Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
She's
a good performer and everything. Let's see if the old lady is. She's probably in a meeting.
I don't know that she has a catalog where that show's that long though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dizzy, Har. I'm gonna have to take advantage and get a jump start on Pennsylvania's new legalization of weed.
Yeah. Oh man. You totally blanked out on the fact that it's the Super Bowl.
I did.
I love that.
I'm a total ass.
Yeah, the song "Bad Guy" I think was her first big hit. I love that song.
Is that right? All right.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
And then there's another one out. Not now. I forget what it's.
I can't believe the show is on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, man.
I am so freaking dizzy.
Yeah.
I just stopped at Wegmans this morning to pick up some groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get the 4 Jell-O packs of flavored gelatin and 4 unflavored pouches of gelatin. You know what that means, Har?
Is that because somebody's going to make some edibles?
Yeah, the old lady visited the dispensary yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, got the oil.
Uh-huh.
Because the initial batch is finally dried up.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, is this are they that good that, maybe she could use this as a side hustle?
Yeah, that would be illegal, Har.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it?
I don't know. Everything's legal now, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, she's got the card.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can distribute.
Well, you get Aton to distribute it.
Where? To his mouth?
Yeah.
Where's he going to distribute it to?
He'd be your biggest client. It'd be like vertical marketing. You just have
my only client.
Yeah, that's that happens a lot these days.
It'd be like Bruce Cutler for the mob. Yes. The old attorney.
The voiceover. Oh, I thought you meant the voiceover guy, Cutler. Oh, no. Jim Cutler.
Not Jim. By the way, we're having issues. I got a text today before the program from Jim Grasso, our guy over at Wildfire.
Yeah.
So he sends me this text, and I'll bring it up and I'll show the audience here what it says. Because frankly, I'm a little pissed off about it.
Uh-oh.
So I get this text and it says, "Got to be careful of the music you play." And there's a picture, so I'll bring the picture up.
Music.
So you see what that says? Can you read that, Har?
No, I can't read. It's all bright. It's like a glare.
Oh, okay. So I'll read it.
Yeah.
It says, "We found some third-party content in your podcast." This was for Stick to Hockey.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say we don't play any music here.
But when I post the podcast, I always put a song at the beginning and a song at the end to bring us in and bring us out. Now, we don't hear it when we tape it, when we do it, but I put it in post.
Yeah.
And I do it for the Stick to Hockey podcast as well. And apparently, so I said to Jim, I said, wait a minute. So now they monitor on audio podcasts as well? What the fuck? And he said, Spotify's the only one I've seen, but who knows? So I said, fuck them.
Wow.
Spotify's got. I'm going to put Neil Young on there then.
Yeah.
See if Spotify will play that.
Let's put some Joni Mitchell on there. I got a couple of her CDs.
Yes.
You could put her in there too.
And maybe a little David Crosby.
Right. Yeah.
Teach your children, Har.
Yeah. We'll put the whole Laurel Canyon crew on.
Yes, exactly.
On shuffle mode.
Did you ever watch that documentary, the Laurel Canyon?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Awesome
it's
one. Yeah. With Jacob Dylan, right?
Yeah.
And isn't Beck in that too?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
a good one.
why.
Yeah, actually, there's an album that he has called Mutations,
Yeah.
where it's like has songs in like every style of music,
Mm.
from country to like bluegrass. It's actually a pretty good album.
Yeah, he's actually up as on one of the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, with all due respect to Beck, he's got a couple of good tunes. He's no Hall of Famer.
No, he's not. He's not at that level.
No, and I personally, I know you and I love music, and they put anybody in. It's really
they're
kind
starting
of
to.
ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
it's become one of those things where it's an event every year, so we gotta put some people in. Well, you know what? Every couple of years, just have a concert. You don't need to induct anybody
Yeah,
if
you
they're
can
not
honor
inductable.
people.
Right.
Yeah. You get to
Right.
play at the concert. That's good enough. Where we
Right.
induct the real stars,
Right.
Hall of Famers. 91 SXer says Robbie E's a Taylor Swift guy.
Yeah.
Harry's an Eilish guy. WTF is going on?
Right. Yeah. Robbie E loves us. He's a Swiftie, as they
Is
call
that
him.
right?
Yeah.
He's a
In
Taylor
fact, he
Swift.
might have taken his daughter to see Taylor Swift at one point back in the day.
The old
He's a
lady took my
Swiftie.
daughter there at Lincoln Financial Field to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, the old lady's going to have Billie Eilish duty on Sunday because
Whether
don't.
she knows it or not.
Yeah. Now, there's a war of words going on, Har, between two performers in the rock music world, and I've seen both of them live on several occasions.
Okay.
All right. Now, there's a war word. You hear about this at all?
Does this involve Pearl Jam's singer?
Yes, Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nikki Sixx, who is the bass player for Motley Crue.
Who has think been brought back to life like 6 or 7 times, right?
But not in 20 years. He has
but he was like legally dead a few times, right? Right?
Massive heroin addict.
Yeah.
So there was this interview that Eddie Vedder did with the New York Times, and he was talking about, growing up, and he said he used to work in a San Diego a club, like loading gear in at the club. And he says, I'd end up being at the shows and I wouldn't have chosen to go to bands that monopolized the late 80s MTV, the metal bands that I'm trying to be nice. He said, I despise. And he said, girls, and Motley Crue. Fuck you. He said, I hated it. I hated how it made the fellas look. I hated it how it made the women look. It felt so vacuous.
What's
so
that
Nikki Sixx?
Vacuous or
vacuous?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Nikki Sixx has since responded, taken to his Twitter account, and he said that made me laugh today regarding how much the singer in Pearl Jam hated Motley Crue. Now considering that they're one of the most boring bands in history, it's kind of a compliment, isn't it?
Great comeback by Nikki Sixx, by the way.
Yeah.
Props to him. And I really doubt that Eddie Vedder felt that way back then when he was loading and unloading gear. But it's just trendy now, where it's the thing to say now, because of when we look back on the 80s, it was very objectifying to women and all that, you know what I mean? So now you can look back and say, oh, I never responded to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
And the other part of it is that you look at it and you go, okay, grunge apparently is what kicked out the hair metal scene and the glam metal scene.
Right. It did.
Basically, it was Guns N' Roses in 1989 and Appetite for Destruction that did that.
Actually, that record came out in 86 and was big until 1989.
Did it really? Did it come out in 86? Appetite?
It came out in 86. Yeah, I believe it did. Yeah, I believe it did.
I thought it was later than that.
No, because they kept releasing, every song on the record was basically a single, I think.
Wow.
So they got done with it. Yeah, I'm going to look it right up here. Appetite for Destruction. This is live YouTube right here on the Odd G's podcast. And 1987 it was released, July of 87. Okay. All right, so I was off by a year. But yeah, the summer of 87. Yeah, because I was in Temple. I was going to Temple University then. That's when I got there. And I remember, I mean, that Sweet Child of Mine, and what was the other monster hit off of there that came out early?
Well, the first one was Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah, that's the one. That's a hockey song to me.
Still
That's where
is.
the,
Yep.
where the Flyers come out of the room and they jump onto the ice and
Yep. You know where you are.
yes,
The whole thing.
yes.
Yeah. And
Oh.
the funny thing is, I saw them open up for Aerosmith.
You saw
before
Guns
the
N'
album
Roses
exploded.
open up.
Yes.
Wow.
At the
That must have been
Spectrum.
incredible.
Yep.
Now, what Aerosmith record were they pimping then?
Probably Pump.
Pump. Okay.
Yeah,
That was the
probably
one
around
with the
that
old
time.
pickup truck on the cover,
Yeah.
right?
Loving an
Yeah.
Elevator and
Yeah.
all that
Right.
crap on it. Yeah. That was probably that album, I would think.
Yeah, because I didn't see them until that November Rain, that double album they put out.
Use Your
Didn't
Illusion.
that Use Your Illusion and Use Your Illusion 2 or whatever? They
Mhm.
came to the Spectrum for that tour too. And me and my buddy, my roommate at the time, had second row floor seats.
Yeah.
We didn't sit in them once.
Oh,
It was
that's
unbelievable.
fantastic.
Right
That's
in front of Duff McKagan and his bass.
Yeah, another guy who's
Yeah.
died several times.
Oh, really?
Oh, he was
Oh,
massive. He isn't anymore. He's like a workout dude now.
Is he? Okay.
I got a chance to spend time with Slash at one point when I was doing rock radio. I'm seeing if I can find the picture here and I'll put it up. But so when I was working at YSF, we had this thing that we did every weeknight with Matt and Huggy called Mandatory Metallica.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, all right, I'll put the picture up. I have it right here. So when on Mandatory Metallica, we did like Celebrity Mandatory Metallica, where when we'd have rock stars come in, we would get their picks and we'd have audio of them talking about it.
Yeah.
And hey,
Good
I chose
idea.
this Slash, I chose this song, blah, blah, blah. And so Slash came in, we were putting all these together for like a period of time. And Slash came in and I had to go into the studio with him to pick his songs and record them.
Right.
So we go into the studio. Here's the picture. Let me put this up here.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Oh, there we go.
Look at you.
So yeah, there's me and Slash. That's inside the YSP studios.
Now you've got one of those Billy Goat kind of things going,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
like
that
the
thing's
long
long.
goatee.
Yeah.
Is there a name for that? Like that kind of facial hair? Is that got a
It's
different
called
name?
2 words, Har. Bad luck.
Bad-
I got the Warped Tour 98 shirt on. This
I
is probably
see that.
around 2000.
Okay.
And before people freak out, yeah, it's a Yankees hat. Who gives a shit? But anyway,
Wow.
so I go into the studio with Slash, and usually it's like 5 minutes with these guys in the other room.
Mhm.
And they pick their songs, they say a couple things, and they're out there back on the tour bus. I'm in this room for about 90 minutes with Slash. And he's having me, get up, Master of Puppets, play this song. No, I want Disposable Heroes.
What are you guys
And-
doing? Chopping stuff up? I mean, what the hell's going on in there?
I'm like, I mean, at some point, I'm like, holy cow, like this dude's taking it way too serious. Like it's an episode of Behind the Music.
That's cool, though.
It was awesome. It was just
Yeah.
me and him. That's it.
Yeah.
His tour manager checked in like 3 times. Like, are you done yet?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, we got a show tonight. Sound checks in an hour here. But he's probably used to it with Slash. But he was such a good dude.
Yeah.
Like you immediately felt like you almost grew up with him. Like the conversation was not like me talking to some star. It was,
Right.
hey man, how you doing? Like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And it's insane. It was
That's
off
cool.
the charts. And it was 90 minutes in there. And we're just talking about Metallica and music, talking about the tour that I saw them on with Metallica. I saw it at RFK.
Mm.
And eventually that's where Hetfield got burned on stage.
Mm.
And Guns N' Roses didn't come out right away. And the crowd like went bananas. I
During
think it
one
was
of the pyro things, he got
Yeah.
burned? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It like lit up his
Wow.
whole arm and like he was out for a long time. So,
Jeez.
but yeah, one of the great stories dealing with Slash.
He was a cool dude, huh? That's good to
Dude.
know.
I mean, top 3 coolest dude, like rock stars I've ever dealt with. Him absolutely there. And like, you don't get bigger than Slash.
No.
Well,
he was in
Plant.
Velvet Revolver too, who I saw at
Yep.
the Spectrum.
With Scott Weiland.
With Scott Weiland, who's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
91 LSXer said you were going through your Fred Durst stage with that look and that hat.
Well, yeah, perhaps even.
Right
I have a
around that
picture-
time period.
Yeah, I have
late
a picture
90s.
with Fred and I. And
Yeah?
I used to get mistaken for him at concerts from time to time.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I
'cause
met
we
him on
looked-
South Street one time. He was just
Did
like
you really?
walking around shopping. Yeah.
The other guy that is the coolest dude, number 1 on the list, Har. of any rock star that I've met. And I've met this guy several times. And he is about as cool as they come, and it's this guy right here. So let me put this picture up. There you go. You know who that is?
That's not Foo Fighters, is it?
That is Dave Grohl.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
That is outside the Indre recording studios down in South Philly when we did an acoustic session with them. And he's holding a patch cheesesteak and wearing a Phillies cap backwards.
Okay, so he's legit cool because I always hoped he'd be cool. He seems cool.
Totally.
You know? Yeah.
Awesome guy. Just like the realest dude, not pretentious. And when you do an interview with him, it's just a conversation.
Right.
Awesome, awesome dude.
Oh, good.
Like when we
I
did
like
those
hearing that.
When we did those recording sessions, the band would come in and like sound check, and then they would leave, and then we'd bring in all the radio station winners and stuff that were going to come in, sit on the couch and floor and watch it.
Right.
So they get done their sound check, and I'm sitting in there, and a couple of the other people from the station and like the band's people, and we're like, all right, we're going to bring the people in now. So you guys, and he's like, no, just bring them in.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there, and they're just like fiddling around playing like Kiss songs while the people are walking in. So the people walk in, they're like, holy shit, they're here already. You know, like usually like rock stars got like some stupid grand entrance.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're late.
Yeah. They didn't they did not care at all.
That's great.
And they just came in and like, they were like taking requests and like, it was hilarious. They're great dudes.
That's awesome.
So anyway, all right. We got anything else we want to get to?
Yeah. I gotta rip one of these ESPN former athlete talking heads, Ryan Clark, who I used to like actually when he first got to ESPN. He was a pretty good football player too, for the Steelers. I think he spent a year or so with Washington as well. LSU guy, if I remember. And he was good when he first got to ESPN, but apparently everything's, the whole culture up there has kind of taken over him, because now I see he put out this hot take this week. It might have been yesterday. I don't know. But I think sometimes this stuff is germinated intentionally just to get it out there, so that then the rest of their shows and the rest of their talent can feed upon it and either agree with it or disagree and have debate. And then, thus for they get their shows to the Super Bowl, and then it's on to the next thing, because they're talking about Russell Wilson. And Clark is quoted here, and I'm reading this right off the Get Up Twitter feed, which I do not follow, but it's part of this. The Seahawks Wire on usatoday.com picked it up. And it says, Russell Wilson is not an all-time great quarterback. He's never going to be in those conversations. We have to stop putting him in that world that any team that has Russell Wilson can win a Super Bowl, end quote.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't even need to go into the reasons why that's a stupid hot take. Do I? I mean, is he a 9-time Pro Bowler? He's a Super Bowl champ. I mean, he's incredible. And he's had to do it all by himself for the most part, because he never has an offensive line. He rarely has a running game. And for the last 5 years, hasn't had a defense. So I don't know. I don't get it. Like, where does that guy come up with that? He knows football.
No, he didn't come up with it, Har. Some executive came up with this strategy of hot takes and regurgitation of the hot take.
Did he draw the short straw and lose and have to say it then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what was his turn?
Because these
are shameless guys, right?
He's a good football guy, Ryan Clark.
He can't believe that. First of all, we know that,
I hope not.
Well, here's the thing, and I think that your initial statement was balls on accurate. That they say these statements, and they do it for two reasons. One, the shock value of when it happens, and the fact that it gets picked up by all these different outlets, number one. But then number two, to make the next day shows easier.
Right. It becomes
Did you hear
part
what
of
Ryan
the
Clark
agenda.
said yesterday? Now Stephen A. Smith. Let me tell you,
and
the
then it was
whole
on
thing.
PTI. PTI I'll talk about it, and Wilbon will give his take, and it just sort of perpetuates the whole machine.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what it does. And it's cannibalizing itself. And what it has done to the industry of, first of all, ESPN, and then the industry of, because that tactic has invaded sports talk radio.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's taken over, really, the hot take scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And It's ridiculous. Like, you just come on, let me just say something insane so that, I can make this dumb phone ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who cares about the dumb phone in sports radio and making it ring?
And I guess the phone is equivalent to what, retweets and likes on social media?
Well, it's affirmation that you said something.
And it's being seen and it's being proliferated around the world.
Yeah, but the phone, like the amount of phone calls you take on the show doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything toward ratings. Like, we never saw people out in the street and said, other than like that Bernie phone call, but they never said, "Hey, I love when John from the Northeast calls in," or Brent from Bryn Mawr, whoever it is, right?
Yeah.
They never say that.
Yeah. Wow.
And the whole industry is like, you got these clowns like Giglio that go there and they'll tell you these things and that are so contrarian. I mean, Ange to some extent too.
Yeah,
Angela.
I guess nobody's really immune from it. You do it long enough.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes a way to clear the paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Then they go to commercial. You believe I tricked him again? I really don't believe that. I think Andy Reid's a great guy.
Oh.
I ran into Jonesy the other night and I said, it was right after the Chiefs lost. Right. And I said, I imagine Ange was fit to be tied about Andy Reid because he hates Andy Reid. He's horrible. He's a bad human. And just like, it's like, oh, okay. Like there wasn't bad humans here.
Right.
And he just eviscerated him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah. But you're right, Har. I'm glad you got that off your chest because I can't watch these shows.
I mean, of all the players to come after, too, like what did Russell Wilson ever do to you? Yeah. Like, seriously.
It's like that donkey out in Pittsburgh, that slob Mark Madden that I just bitch slapped.
Oh, I see you going at it with his takes on Twitter every night. You did it just this past week, didn't you?
Well, he doesn't have takes. He has a take. He just trolls Flyer fans. Now, if you were on the radio, Har, and your team was really good, like the Penguins, and they've won 3 cups in the Crosby era since 2009. Back-to-back a few years ago. And the team across the state is a mess.
Yeah.
Would you be worried about trolling their fans?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, like he has this joke. Were you alive when the Flyers won the cup? When's the last time you won And he was just like Googling Giroux the other day because of the All-Star game of people he doesn't even follow and just quote tweeting this same dumb joke on a Saturday night.
On a Saturday.
So this slob is so lonely on a Saturday night that he's just there. And I don't know who told him the joke was funny, but it's like, use it once and end it.
Right.
This dude, like any piece of food he can get in front of him, just couldn't stop. And he's just a medium market hack. That's what he is. That's why you're in Pittsburgh still, Mark. You slob. All right.
You feel
Tell
better?
people about Parx.
Oh, man.
Parx. This is the same guy, Har, who put in a written piece that since somebody got traded, I forget who it was, he can go back to hoping the Flyers plane crashes.
Oh, wow.
He put that in print.
Jeez.
In an article he wrote.
That's pretty bad.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody that supports that dude is a loser. Parx Sportsbook, speaking of winning, is where you got to be for everything this weekend. Huge gambling weekend. You put out some great props at the beginning of the show. I won't ask you to do it again, Har, but you can just rewind and go back and write those down. Yeah,
well, it was Van Jefferson receiving yards. I'm going over 49.5 because it's plus 195 at Parx.
Great.
And then I was going to take Sony Michel in rushing yards over 17.5. That is also some nice plus money.
Now, how will you be betting on the coin toss?
No, I don't go that far.
I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
I'll leave that to what isn't the great one's wife? Wasn't she known for betting the coin toss?
What's that, Janet Gretzky?
Yes.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think she knows her way around a sports betting app.
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah, she certainly did.
Yeah,
and that whole situation there with Talk and everything else.
Oh,
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, All right. Get the Parx Sportsbook app. Get in on all the action. If you're using another service, check this one out this week. You won't regret it. It's easy to navigate. Like Harry's navigating the whole thing during the show. Multitasking, right, Harry?
I have it up right there.
There
it
you
is.
go.
Yeah.
Might be time for you to upgrade that cell phone from the 8,
Yeah.
buddy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the 12.
I'd like to get rid of it
Completely?
before I'd upgrade it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not you would be ahead of the curve there again.
I know it's never going to happen, but
no. What would you? I mean, how would you ever get those texts from Mikey Miss without a phone?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Nick
That
Cale
start out, dude.
Nick Cale couldn't send me 50 texts a day.
Oh my God.
Hey, check what I just tweeted. No.
I'd rather not. That means I have to unblock you.
Exactly. I got to unmute you.
Yeah, that's what you got to say to them. New customers, if you sign up now, just deposit, no promo required, and get a free bet, risk-free bet up to $500. And follow Parx at Parx Sportsbook on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as well. And you'll get great content there, daily specials, and much more. And use it for this weekend. It's going to be a monster weekend. Plus, you got NHL back, NBA, college hoops as well. Tons to get in on. All right. Anything else? Any last words, Harry?
No. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully there'll be a good commercial or two.
Well, I'll be at Billie Eilish, so
no.
You have to fill me in.
Are you going to have to go? Like I thought the old lady was going to take over that duty.
I don't know. I haven't gotten a hold of her. She's not taking my call right now.
No, that's a bad sign. That is a bad.
She's probably. I was going to say she's probably watching the show, but then again, probably not.
Probably not.
She was smart. All right, everybody. That's episode 10. Leave us a rating and review. Subscribe if you will, and we'll talk to you next week on another brand new episode of Odds. Have a great day.